I'm going to start things off. We'll go to Carmine after, and then Matthew. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going with Tampa Bay on their team total over 3.5. I'm going to take Detroit completely out of the situation, out of the picture, and bank on Tampa Bay at minus 110, 115 odds here to reach that 4-goal mark here on a young Detroit team that I believe will just get walked all over here. My best bet for the show will be Tampa Bay on their team total over 3.5.
I'll go a little different here, and I'll just take Tampa Bay on the alternate puck line minus 2.5 plus 130.
I love Tampa Bay. I'm taking the puck line minus 1.5.
It's always a good feeling to start the show off by watching some best bet winners come through. But yesterday is yesterday, guys, and today is today. It is time to find some new winners. Welcome back to Puck Time right here on WagerTalk TV. I'm your host, Andrew McInnis, Carmine Bianco along with Bryan Leonard. The three of us right now having a great run here in the NHL. All three of us are rolling. Bryan, we'll start with you, though, man. You are absolutely heating up here. Number one in profit at WagerTalk in the NHL last 8 days.
Yeah, it's been good. Early in the season, the home teams were just crushing, and I usually play road dogs, so I got off to a little bit of a slow start. Now, luckily, I learned my lesson really quick, and I didn't have as many as the season went on. But the last couple of weeks, it's been great. Had Boston last night, so I know I'm getting a little bit lucky, but I'll take it. Hockey's the luckiest sport there is. And you're going to find times where you had the right side and you're not going to win. But we'll take it yesterday with the winner on Boston, who right now looks to be the best team along with Montreal in hockey right now. Just playing some great ball right now.
Yeah, unbelievable. It was kind of like the prelims and then the main event, like Mr. Dave Koken tweeted out yesterday, Carm. It was Detroit and Tampa Bay, an early game, just pure dominance from Tampa Bay. Obviously, we had our best bets all correlated with Tampa Bay, and then the main event with Boston and Philly. And you and I actually didn't really have action on that, but watching it as a spectator, an unbelievable game. Just from a viewership standpoint, Boston, like Bryan said, just always finding a way to get things done. But Carm, I'll go to you, man. You have a 5% best bet up here. And I know historically you've done great with your 5% across the board.
Yeah, it's been a good run. NHL is starting to heat up. I just want to go back 1 second to yesterday's best bets on the show. Technically, I was 2-0 because Andrew stole my team total, but I'm going to let him keep that one. He didn't read our company notes there, but that's perfectly fine. We were all on that same side. Obviously, Tampa were rolling, and I sent you guys a couple of my first period Tampa team total bets minus 1.5 plus 190, which I absolutely loved. But hey, that Boston game was a fantastic game, and it's funny because Bryan just talked about sometimes hockey's lucky. You have to be lucky sometimes to be on the right side. It's funny, the same guys that tell you the right side. When you lose a bet and you're like, well, it was the right side, but they lost. They're like, no, the right side is a team that won. Those are the same guys that will also complain about bad beats. It's not a bad beat because your team lost anyways. But that said, Andrew, we have a full card today, man. So let's get to it.
Let's do it. Let's get right into it, guys. We'll start things off here. Our first game of the day, we're talking the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. And guys, well, I find this kind of interesting because the odds that we're seeing here, it's a pick 'em play. It's the minus 110, minus 110. But if you look at the standings here, it kind of makes you scratch your head and makes you a little bit wondering why these numbers are the way they are. And I think the reason for that being is that the Rangers have been involved in so many close games. So many of their losses, guys, have been involved just 1-goal losses. And that has to be taken into account here with this handicap. I'm going to go to you first here, Carmine, with your thoughts on this game. Do you find this is just too good to be true here with the Capitals?
Yeah. I thought the line would probably be somewhere around Caps minus 130-ish, something like that. So we're not far off, but 20 cents is still 20 cents. It almost gets me to the point. I'm not going to get to the window on this game as far as the side goes. If I'm playing this game, I'm taking the over, and it's mainly an over based on how Washington games have gone so far. I think this year through 10 games, I believe they're 8-2 to the over so far. The only games that have gone under were the second game against the Sabres at the start of the season, and a game against the Islanders, who notoriously play those lower scoring games. So with that in mind, every other game has gone over the total. So the total's sitting at 6, I believe, here. So that would be my play in this game, over the total.
All right, the over is the play from Carmine. Carmine also has his 5% play up for tonight. Bryan, the last time the Washington Capitals played, they were involved in yet another comeback from the Boston Bruins. It seems like this is kind of a repetitive thing here. Do you think this is any type of regression here for the Capitals, or do they bounce back and get their act together again?
Yeah, I find it very interesting. The Rangers have a troublemaker in D'Angelo. He leaves, and then they win their very next game. Marco D'Angelo from WagerTalk went on vacation. He's been gone for the last week, and all three of us have heated up in hockey. I think those damn D'Angelos are just trouble. But if you take a look
Tell
at
him
this
to stay
game
on
with the
vacation,
Rangers,
Bryan. Tell him to stay on vacation.
tell him to stay. With the money we've been winning, we could pay him to go back on vacation, but he's been winning enough himself. He's been really good this year. But it's interesting. You talk about the teams with the records, the Capitals 6-1-3, and the Rangers 3-4-2. I think the lines makers are starting to realize that, well, they know all along, but I think the betting public is starting to realize just because a team has a better record does not mean they're the better team. If you take a look at expected goal percentages, the Rangers are 19th, Washington's 29th. This is a team in the Rangers that have been unlucky, whereas Washington, along with Philadelphia, who I faded yesterday, has been very lucky. And, Sean Tierney has a website. He does a tremendous job. And he actually put out today who the luckiest teams and who the unluckiest teams are. And the only two matching up today are these two. The Rangers have been unlucky based on their shooting percentages and the shots they're taken, as well as the Capitals have been extremely lucky. So I think the advanced stats are telling you the Rangers are the right side here, and I can't disagree with it.
Well, Bryan, you've brought the advanced stats to my attention quite a bit, and I've actually noticed a lot more websites that have great information, and the information that we're able to get these days is just growing stronger and stronger, and I'm sure you can agree with me on that. But, I wouldn't say I disagree, but I'd more so say that with those advanced stats, I kind of like to wait and see, let them get 1 or 2 wins and show me they can do it, because these advanced stats and expected goals, sure, they're expected goals, but if they're not getting them in, this time and that time and that time, I kind of want to wait to see when it happens. But I agree with you. This New York team is far better than their record indicates right now. That's for sure. I haven't done this in a few days, guys, so I want to take a moment to thank all of you guys joining us here live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Our chat box is so lively. Bryan, Carm, you guys know I love interacting with all of these guys here in the chat box. And we do have a coupon code for the NHL for you guys, for anybody at WagerTalk selling hockey. It is NHL129. Very simple coupon code, NHL129, to get 30 days of NHL All Access from any of us for $129. Use that on Carm, use that on myself, use that on Bryan Leonard. And we're all running pretty hot right now. So I just want to take a moment and get you guys that coupon code, because we really do appreciate you guys watching this show every single day. The following has been outstanding. Let's keep things going, though, guys. Carmine, we'll go to you again with the Flames and the Jets. This game is going to be crazy. The ending to that game was crazy. I just think the Jets right now, every time they come close to a victory, they can't get it done. They're like the Rangers right now of the North Division. They just can't seem to get the job done, no matter if they're up 2 goals, down 2 goals. And they have a Vezina Trophy winner in Hellebuck as their goaltender, and they're letting him down big time.
Yeah. Listen, in that last game, Brissell absolutely stole that game for them. We're likely to see, we're probably going to see Hellebuck and Markstrom in net tonight for these two teams. And you look at it. Listen, it's been the starts in the first 2 games of this 3-game set. down 2-0, down 3-1. The Flames, they were able to overcome that 2-0 deficit in the first game. They almost overcame that 3-1 deficit in that last game, and they were just absolutely all over the Jets. They're a better team than the Jets. I don't care what anyone. You're not going to convince me otherwise. At this point, they're a better team. They're just not getting off to the greatest of starts, and I think we see something hopefully different tonight from this Flame side. I think the price is where it should be. This should be in that -120, -125 range. If they were playing in Calgary, it'd be a completely different thing. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who is the better of the two teams, who gets the breaks, and for me, it's the Flames here. I'm going to keep this extremely simple. When we talk about that goal expectancy, and you guys probably have the numbers available on this one. When you're tracking teams and they're flying under the radar screen or they're below their expected numbers, at some point, that those numbers are going to start going up, and you've got to get on that train ahead of time. You want to get, Andrew, I've always talked about, get on a win streak at the start of it, not in the middle of it, not at the end of it. If a team is going to roll on 6 or 7 wins, you want to be there win number 2. So you can take advantage of 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And this is how I'm looking at with this Flames team. There's something big ahead for this team, and hopefully it starts tonight.
How do you feel about this game, Brian?
Yeah, he said basically what I was going to say. It's a terrific analysis. It's what I find interesting is this line's similar, almost the same as what it was the last time they just played. We saw that the Calgary Flames were the better team. They didn't have the better result, but they were the better team in that game. And now they're off of a loss, seeking revenge, and we're getting basically the same line. I think it's a nice bargain price here on Calgary. You take a look at goals plus or minus per 60 on the season. 5-on-5, the Flames are up 0.25, whereas the Jets are down 0.14. And when you take a look at expected goals, it's even larger. The Jets should be down 0.40, and the Flames up 0.331. So you've got a team that's overperforming a little bit, and the Jets, a team that I just don't think is very good, against a team in Calgary, which, as Carmine said, this is a good hockey team coming off a loss. The price is fair, really fair to me. I like Calgary in this game.
Let's talk about the St. Louis Blues and the Arizona Coyotes. We see a heavy favorite here as far as the St. Louis Blues go. Taking a little bit of money here and moving that price up a little bit. But one thing I find interesting this year about the Blues, they are not the same defensive team, guys, that we've seen them in years past. They are not winning these 3-1 hockey games relying heavily on their goaltender. They are playing an electrifying type of hockey, which makes it interesting for me, thinking, well, maybe this will be a game where Arizona gets it together, starts putting some goals in the back of the net. But I look at this price, I'm thinking about laying the -1 here with the St. Louis Blues. I feel like they're on a different level right now. They have found their scoring touch, and it just seems to be, for me right now, the Coyotes only have a handful of guys that can score and step up in those big moments. And when I look at hockey, I like to look at depth. And I just am not seeing any depth right now for the Arizona Coyotes. I'll go back to you, Brian, for your thoughts on this game.
I actually lost. These two teams played 2 days ago, and I had Arizona, lost that game 4-3. Like the underdog in that game, and now we're getting a better price here, looking for some revenge. When you're taking a look at goals plus or minus per 60 on 5-on-5, the Blues are third in the league. Canadiens 2.06, which is just amazing. The Lightning 1.76, probably going up even higher based on the teams they got to play on their schedule. And then the Blues at 1.69. But when you took at expected goals on 5-on-5 per 60, the Blues are only up 0.28. So they're a team that's very good. They're a very good team, but they're playing a little bit over their heads right now. And Arizona, despite the record, despite what they've done, they're minus 0.48 on 5-on-5 so far. They actually have a better expected goals for than against, 2.55 to 2.34. So Arizona is one of those teams. I've watched. I didn't think much of them coming into the season. I thought they were going to be equal to Anaheim, but I think they're a little bit better. I like the way they play. Good defensive team, and if I probably won't be on this game, but I may be going against you at least for a small amount here. As I think the value is there, and the line is actually better than it was the first time they played. So slight disagreement here, but I don't know if I'll get there.
All right, just a slight disagreement, and I get that. I get the Arizona, they've created chances, and they should be playing a little better than the score dictates for them, so I can't argue with that. Guys, we have a new segment, we're calling this, and we're trying to find a name here for the heavy favorite of the day. We're kind of rearranging our segment name, so comment below on the YouTube channel what you think we should call our heavy favorite of the day. It sounds pretty blanket to me and pretty obvious, but our heavy favorite of the day today is the pretty obvious one. It is the Montreal Canadiens and the Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators have not. Oh, there we go. Dumper chase, courtesy of producer Chris. We have not seen the Ottawa Senators win a game since their opener against our buddy Prez, the Maple Leafs. So look, this is a minus 320 number. Montreal is in great form. They're coming off another win against the Vancouver Canucks. And Carmine, we found a way yesterday to attack the Lightning against the Red Wings. How do you find a way to attack this hockey game?
Well, before we get into this one, I just want to say that I do agree with Brian on that last game. I know you didn't really give me a chance to talk about St. Louis and Arizona, Andrew, and it's okay. I get it. But it's fine. And I'm just going to quickly comment on that in the fact that while I likely am not going to the window on that game, plus 150 isn't bad on this Arizona team because, as Brian stated, they do look a lot better than what we both thought they would coming into the season. A little unlucky running into a very hot goalie in that in Gibson, and after beating Vegas, they lost that game 1-0. So unlucky in the sense of they're not scoring the goals, but the St. Louis team is allowing some goals, so they could get it and could steal a game tonight. Now, on to this Montreal game, Andrew.
I'm going to hear about this for so
there.
long. I'm going to hear about this for so long.
Very good team there. And listen, it's the same thing as when you looked at yesterday's game with Tampa Bay and Detroit. This is not a very good Ottawa team. You can look at various ways of betting this game. I'm likely going to stay away from it. I'm pretty sure I'm staying away from this game. Ottawa is one of those teams where, Andrew, they have that rivalry just as much with Montreal as they do with Toronto as being, the neighbor thing. And there's been some close games between these two teams over the years, over the last couple of years. Do I think they're going to go into Montreal, or do you think do I think they're going to beat Montreal in this game and go into the Bell Center and win? No, I don't think so. But I also know that sometimes these plus 265, plus 300 teams jump up and bite you in the ass. I saw it last year towards the end of the season with the Sabres against Pittsburgh, plus 300 a couple times, and they beat Pittsburgh. It does happen. Do I think it's going to happen tonight? No, but I'm not going to the window on this one, Andrew. I'm sorry. So this game is an absolute pass for me.
Well, I'm sorry to you, Carm, for forgetting to go to you. So I do apologize. I just did the tennis show with you, and I guess I was just had enough of seeing you already today. I didn't even throw it to you. So I apologize to you for that sincerely. And, Brian, an angle I look for, even though we're not going to get an underdog price, and I know, Brian, you're an underdog guy, and you might disagree with me on this, but I don't think that the Senators can win a lot of games, but I think they will hit their team totals a good amount of times. You can take the over 2.5. You can take the 1.5 at a really juicy price. How do you approach a game like this with the Montreal Canadiens minus 300 favorites?
Before we get into that, you said you were just speaking to them about a hockey show, or excuse me, a tennis show?
Yes.
I didn't realize we had one. I don't follow tennis, but I know guys that are out there that make a lot of money, and they do it in tennis. And I'm sure you guys are going to make a lot of money on that show, and I'm going to have to start watching it because tennis is one of those sports that, yes, the better players are going to win, But that's cool. If you don't mind laying big numbers, tennis is the way to go. A lot of guys make a living off of betting tennis. So congratulations on the show. I'll be looking forward to watching it. Yeah, I learned my lesson with the Senators. Last time my number said that I should be playing the Senators, I said, I can't play the Senators. There's sometimes your numbers are telling you one thing and your eyes are telling you something else. And that's what I have learned. When you take a look at goals plus minus per 60 and 5-on-5 this year, Montreal, number one, 2.06 better than the opposition. The Senators dead last, 31st, minus 2.16. So this has blowout written all over it. But this is hockey, and these things happen. The one thing that I find very interesting is how bad the Senators' defense is on 5-on-5. They are the worst 5-on-5 per 60, giving up 4.32 goals per game. The second worst, the Sharks, 3.16, over one full goal less than the Senators. You take a look at Montreal, 3.74 plus. That's what they score offensively on the 5-on-5, which is number one in hockey. So you got the best offense against the worst defense. To me, it's a no-brainer. You just play the Canadiens goals over, and team total over, I think, is the best bet in this game.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this right now as a Montreal Canadiens fan, and I never like to bash my team. Carmine knows this. Obviously, I talk to him all the time with the Montreal Canadiens through texting or whatever. But this is obviously a great year to be a fan of the team, but I can't believe that I would now be looking at a team total over for them. This team is scoring goals. They're leading the way as far as goals scored. We saw Tyler Toffoli absolutely rip apart his former team that he had a short stint with in the Vancouver Canucks. So, look, guys, I understand that you want to grab puck line plays. You want to grab an underdog play. But I feel like if you ever want to bet on the Ottawa Senators this season, until they start winning some games, guys, go for that quality play there on the team total. And don't worry about them winning the game. Worry about them just finding the back of the net and scoring some goals before you worry about them winning anything. Also, we've seen very interesting. We talk about, guys, about how the advancement of betting. We're talking about a pre-show, and Brian, Vegas is almost falling behind, and the rest of the world is kind of, getting a little bit past them right now. But this is a game where same thing as basketball. You can bet the third quarter spread or total before the game even starts. We've seen so many Senators games, garbage time goals. We have seen a lot of garbage time goals late in games. We've also seen a lot of games start slow and then pick up. We have a couple guys in the chat room acknowledging, and I've mentioned it on several shows, if you see a game like yesterday with the Philadelphia Flyers and the Boston Bruins, start slow. They're feeling things out. They're getting some scoring chances. There hasn't been any power plays yet in the game. They will pick up, and there will be more goals. I recommend a lot of people start jumping in on that strategy of seeing a low-scoring game develop and then jump in on that in-game over. But also, the options are now out there, guys, for you guys to bet a third period total before the game even starts. And the Ottawa Senators have had a lot of garbage time goals. They've had a lot of games that were high scoring all the way up until the last second of the third period. So just an angle I wanted to bring up to you guys there as far as totals go. Now let's get into the Toronto Maple Leafs. Interesting to talk about this team because they've had a long little layoff here. They've had some time off now. And I'm curious if they will get their act together and they will, continue, I guess, not really get their act together, continue to play great defensive hockey. They're playing the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver is pretty much a walking doorway of defensemen, letting everyone score on them. So, Carmine, I'll go to you first here for our barn burner. Is this one that you could easily see sliding over the total, or do the Canucks get it together defensively, and do the Leafs, stay playing pretty good defense?
Yeah, I don't want to lay a 6.5. If there's a 6, I'd probably look at the over here. But I know Toronto's traveling back from having played 4 games in Calgary and Edmonton, but they've had 4 days off, 3 days of rest. That was played on the last game was played on the 30th, so they're on 4 days rest. So I don't think that's that big a factor at home. They're playing extremely well. You know what I mean? 4-game win streak came to an end with that OT loss to the Oilers. And this is the thing is, until I see something better from this Vancouver team, there's just no way I can back this Vancouver team. 4 of their 6 wins have come against Ottawa and Winnipeg, 3 against Ottawa, 1 against Winnipeg. You need to see more from them. The price is where it should be right now. And you look at, Freddie Anderson should get the start tonight. His splits against Vancouver are pretty damn good. He's 10, 2, and 5, 1.55 goals against average in 17 games, and a save percentage of .942. Those are pretty damn good numbers against another team. So with that said, I would probably look at the puck line here, and we'll talk about that in our best bet segment. I have the puck line up as a free play at WagerTalk. Toronto laying 1.5, getting plus 125, plus 130. So that would be my route here in this game.
Bryan, my question to you is, we see that in 5 games so far in the season for Vancouver, they've been against Montreal. You've listed the stats now about how strong Montreal is. They've also played Calgary, 1 game against Winnipeg, and then those games against Ottawa. So my question to you, first of all, is what are your thoughts on their scheduling? Because it obviously hasn't been great. If Montreal has been so strong, this North Division is so competitive as it is. I know the Leafs are really good as well, but I don't know. I really think that people are kind of undermining this team just because they've faced some tough competition.
Yeah, right now, if you take a look at the goals plus or minus per 60 on 5-on-5, the Canucks are 10th, which is awfully impressive based on that schedule. The Maple Leafs are 14th. So Vancouver is a team right now that I think is a little bit under the radar based on the teams they played. So many people just look at win-loss, and you can definitely tell that the people that are saying, I've got brother-in-law as a cop. He does that all the time. He goes, "How could you play that team? Don't you know the other team's 6-2 and they're 5-7?" And I said, you got to look deeper than what the records of these teams are. Got to look at the schedules. Got to look at how they played, how they've lost. I think there's some value here on Vancouver, not only for this game but for the games coming up. It's a team that I think has some value right now, despite the tough schedule that they played. They're actually 0.3 goals plus minus per 60, so they're up on the season in that regard. 5-on-5. I like this team. I like some of the moves they've made in the offseason, and this is a team I'll be looking to play on. Don't know if I'll get there today, but it's a team to keep your eye on.
My thoughts exactly with the Canucks. I feel like they will cash some underdog tickets here in the future. I'm not sure if it'll be today, but they will start to pick things up, I do believe. All right, guys, let's get into some best bets here on the show. Go over what we have for packages available. And Bryan, you're really hot right now in the NHL, so let's go to you and let us know whether it's anything to do with the Super Bowl or prop picks or other sports, college, whatever you might have. Let us know what you have up at WagerTalk, and then a best bet, please.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, I haven't put up anything yet, but you mentioned third periods and third quarters in the NFL. The Chiefs have been tremendous in the third quarter. Obviously, they got one of the best coaches in the NFL, and teams don't like to give the Kansas City Chiefs the ball first, so they'll probably get the ball to start the second half. I would bet the Chiefs to win the third quarter, but that's one of the things that I like for this weekend. But yeah, I've got a play in an afternoon college basketball game. The line's moving a little bit right now, but I still like it. That's my best college basketball play today, and also have a hockey play up. And as you mentioned, number one, at WagerTalk the last 8 days, heating up on the ice. We talked about this game a little bit earlier, the Rangers and Washington. I prefer the Rangers here. I think this is a team that's on the way up. They deserve a little bit better credit than what they've had. And Washington's a team I'm looking to fade. They've been very lucky thus far. We've got a lot of big name players on that Washington team, and now they've got the Russians back. A lot of people like to play Washington, but I think this is the end of the Washington dynasty. I think this is a team that for the future is going to have to rebuild a little bit. And I think the Rangers right now at that price has a lot of value.
Good stuff there from Bryan Leonard. Find him on wagertalk.com. Also on Twitter at BLeonardSports. Carmine, your big 5%er, you cashed an easy 5% winner this week already in soccer action. Let's do it again tonight, buddy. What do you have up besides that? And let's promo you a little bit for that and get a best bet from you.
Yeah, I'd love nothing better than my hockey play to have the same scoreline as the Manchester United 9-0 win earlier this week as a 5% play. I'll have a hockey card up shortly. I have the plays here. I just wanted to confirm goalies before I put that up. But of course, one soccer play up today, a spot play, a tremendous year so far, up over 70% bankroll gain through a month and a couple of days in soccer. To let Brian know that just quickly, that tennis show was just a preview of the Australian Open. We do previews of all the big tournaments. Just looking for another good one. Last year, 78% with tennis selections at WagerTalk, playing not these big sides, just taking game handicaps and totals in the matches. So those lines are never more than minus 120 juice. So 78% was pretty damn good. My best bet for the show, Andrew, sorry to take some time on this one. I mentioned it earlier, Leafs on the puck line, minus 1.5, plus 125. I'm going to look at the Leafs to win this game against this Vancouver team. They played them 3 times in a row here. So then if they can get this win in here, I'm going to look to fade the Leafs in either the second or third game. So I'm going to take the Leafs to win this one and then come back with the Vancouver in either game 2 or game 3.
Good stuff there from Carmine. Find him on WagerTalk.com. Grab that 5% play, guys, and cash in with Carmine on the ice tonight. I am on a 15-6 NHL run. That's 71% for a 35% bankroll gain. Don't forget to use those coupon codes, guys, for the NHL. You can really take advantage of that. I'm releasing prop plays to clients in NHL, goal scorers, puck lines, totals, you name it. You can grab that from me. So that's my promotion for myself. But a best bet for me, we didn't talk about this game, but I'm going to give it out here. The Florida Panthers on the money line against the Nashville Predators. They are the much better team. They have much better scoring options. And right now, Nashville is way too inconsistent for my liking. I'll go with Florida as my best bet. The guys have got their best bets in. We've got the promoting in, and we have the show. And that is a wrap, guys. Thanks a lot to Brian for joining us. I apologize to Carm for skipping him on that one game. I'll definitely hear about that for a couple of days. But thank you guys so much for watching us right here on Puck Time. And we'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern right here on WagerTalk TV.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 56 on February 6, 2022 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,200. That's versus the regular price of $19.99. This discount comes out to just $3 a day. As an added bonus, customers who take advantage of the Super Bowl to Super Bowl All Access Pass will also receive $200 in wager bucks. Use it any handicapper at WagerTalk over the next 12 months. Just head over to WagerTalk.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts drop-down menu, and lock them in through next year for only $100 a month.